guys, what is up? Today is currently Wednesday. I don't know why I thought it was Tuesday. Today is Wednesday, and I'm going to go over how I won this trade with Euro USD, supply and demand, SMC concepts, ICT, whatever the hell you want to call it. I strictly trade gaps and order blocks specifically, and not ICC or ICT order blocks. I trade Wyckoff order blocks specifically. But let me show you guys what I did. So for Euro USD on the 4-hour, I initially thought that price was going to react from this gap right here that you guys can see. I thought price was going to come there and react downwards, but it didn't. It didn't. You know why? Because price came up here and went straight through because of the news we had. And because of that, that caused me to basically get into straight. Because you see how over here, I'm going to take the arrow out so you guys can see what I'm doing. When the news came out, price broke the initial area that I thought it was going to reverse from, which was this gray box. I thought price was going to come into this zone, break previous structures, and start a new trend on the downside. But it didn't. Instead, it came up, breaking that previous high, causing structure to change up to be more bullish. And then what I did was I waited for price to come back down to my gap down here on the lower time frame, entered on a low stop loss, high reward, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I targeted the next high as my take profit. Nothing imaginary. I targeted the next liquidity, which was here, and entered here because we had demand clearly, because you can see that giant white bullish candle right there showing you that there was demand, because this is literally a reflection of what's happening in the real world. So, yeah, that's all you pretty much do. You do market structure. And if you're not sure, if let's say there's news coming out in the morning and you have your structure and everything, but you're not, you're wondering if you shouldn't trade the news. If you have a setup that's clean, right? Sometimes you can trade before the news. Me specifically, most of my trades are actually after the news. Like the news, and here's why: because the news is what created that chance for me to enter a trade. If not that I already had an entry zone. And I actually waited. This whole black sell-off down here was after the news back downwards. So if I would have entered the news, it would have just made more sense to just wait for a reversal, because the news event itself was the trend. That was the trend. It's over now. After the news already came out. And so then if I would have bought right there, it would have just went down to fill in the gap. So yeah, guys, for Euro USD, I usually use the 1-hour time frame for structure, and I enter on smaller time frames. You can use higher time frames for big reversals like that gray box. That was on like the 4-hour to the daily time frame, because I had a downtrend on there, but we broke the gray box, so that's why I entered the buy. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. So you have to get good at structure first. That's the key. Focus on mastering structure and practicing identifying structure, because once you can identify structure, like on the 5-minute, the 15-minute, the blah blah, on the higher time frames, then you're able to actually enter and buy the dips correctly, because market structure is controlled by smart money, the banks and institutions in the Forex market. And that's why price moves dramatically like this. You see that large white candle, that large impulse there, and you see price come back down to these areas and blah blah blah. And eventually all gaps in the market will get filled eventually. So that's why we can trade these gaps like that. And yeah, guys, so that's pretty much it for Euro USD. One thing that can help too is looking at volume. So after, let's say you had this giant white candle during the news. After you had that candle, you could have looked on the lower screen and checked, look at that giant green bullish volume right there. That lets us know that there's large sums of money / capital that created that demand. And who has large sums of money in the market? Smart money. Retailers can't create this much demand. The most retailers can do is something small like this, where I'm pointing the arrow now, down here. But when the news came out, that's when the big guys came out and pushed the market. So they're controlling the market, creating new structure, because as they broke the previous structure, which was right here, they broke it and created a new piece of structure, which was a new high. Okay, so that new high I'm going to actually draw it. So the new high would have been right there, where I'm drawing the green line at the top of the screen. And then the new low is actually where I entered there. So there is the new piece of structure right there, our new low and our new high up here. And so now we just wait for more structure to form, and that's it. That's pretty much it. That's all I trade, gaps and order blocks. Now, if you guys want to see an example of I want to see if I can show you guys an example of some order blocks. Okay, so this looks like some. Okay, so this right here is something I usually trade. If not, sometimes the gaps will get filled. Right, like right here, this is a gap. Sometimes these gaps will get filled, but sometimes market will come down to these areas which are called order blocks, because it's called an order block because these are areas of large sums of money being injected into the market by smart money. And the reason it's called a block is because, as you can see, this white candle engulfs that black candle, and it looks like a block, and that's why it's called order block areas. And as you can see on the volume wise, there is more demand where this block formed right here. You can see all the green bars right here, all this green demand. And so this area is where there was large sums of money entering the market. And so these are order blocks. And the order blocks usually get filled. They usually get filled about 50% of them. So I'm not going to go into that today, but they usually get filled about 50%. I'll enter, and I'll target the next liquidity, whether it's like a double top or double bottom. And yeah, guys, I trade these and gaps. And as you can see, there's order blocks everywhere. There's order blocks over here. There's order blocks down over here. Hold on, I'm gonna try to find some more. There's order blocks right there. That's an order block. There's order blocks everywhere. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for today. I just wanted to show you guys how I entered that trade. Peace.